Welcome back, student, in the subject of integrated marketing, communication, and brand management. We are learning about the brand management elements. Today, we are going to learn a very important aspect, which is brand equity. And furtherly, we are going to discuss the next concept, which is given by Keller. We are going to talk about this model, that is customer-based brand equity model by Keller. So, we will start this lecture with the equity first. So, student, one of the most popular and the potentially important marketing concept which arose in the 1980s was the brand equity. So, brand equity has meant both it is a good news as well as a bad news for the marketer. The good news was the brand equity has elevated the importance of the brand in the marketing strategy, and it provided the focus for managerial interest and the research activity. But the bad news is that confusingly the concept has been defined a number of different ways for a number of different purposes. So no common viewpoint has emerged about how to conceptualize and measure the brand equity. Fundamentally, it is a psychological concept, and that is why we say that it is very difficult to measure the brand equity for a particular brand. So, when we say branding is all about endowing your products and services with the power of brand equity. So, despite the many different views and most observers agree that brand equity consists of the marketing effects uniquely attributable to a particular brand. So that is brand equity explains why different outcomes result from the marketing of a branded product or services if they were not the branded one. So if we understand this concept like this, so without a celebrating association, it is very doubtful that the item which you are going to you want to get branded will not get the result, like you will not be getting result in terms of selling. So if you have a association, it will be promote your product, it will promote your brand, and it will be easier to make your product into convert into your product into the brand. So there are some basic principles of brand equity. The first principle says that there is differences in the outcomes arises from the added value which is endowed to a particular product as a result of past marketing activity for the brand. Now, this value can be created for a brand in many different ways. So, brand equity provides a common denominator for interpreting the marketing strategies, and it accesses the value of the brand. When we talk about the brand equity, the three concepts are there which is very important to discuss. The first one we have is consumer perception. Now, here in brand equity, the main component of brand equity is here we are talking about the consumer perception. How a particular consumer perceived your brand, what he felt about your brand. That is the second point, which is negative and the positive effects. So, here we are talking about the consumer perception, and according to consumer, what are the positive as well as the negative effects about your brand, about your products. So that will be covered into the brand equity also. And the last will be the resulting value. Here we are talking about the decision making for the product, like whether the consumer is going to purchase your product or not. So that is resulting value. Now, what is brand equity? So, consumer, what he perceived about particular brand, what he think about positive, what he think positive about the brand, think negative about the brand, and what will be the resulting value for particular brand. That is brand equity. So when somebody is purchasing something, like suppose I am purchasing a Samsung smartphone, then What makes me think that Samsung is preferable over other brand? That concept, that psychological process is known as the brand equity. Now, when we see the definition, so according to Akar, he said that brand equity is a set of the brand assets and the liabilities linked to a particular brand, its name and symbol, which add to or the subtract from the value provided by the product or the service to a firm and to that the firm's customer. Here, as Akar said, we are talking about the brand asset as well as the brand liability. In short, we are talking about the positive as well as the negative effects. Now, there is another definition which is given by the Keller. He said that brand equity is defined in the terms of marketing effects uniquely attributable to the brand. So those are the unique attributes of your brands. Those are known as the brand equity. Now, what is the importance of this brand equity? What is the why we are learning this? Why we are making the so first about the brand equity? So it is marketing researcher concluded that the brands are the crown jewels of your company, right? So brand equity provides a significant values to the companies. So company can charge premium for the product which have lots of positive effects, right? And then positive brand equity can be transformed to the different product line, which is in turn increase, it will increase your sales, it will increase your revenues, and ultimately that will help you, right? Next is positive brand equity will increase your market share as the brand is widely known, it is recognized by everyone, it is preferred by the consumer, so it will help you to increase your market share. Now let's just understand this concept furthermore with an example. I will put an example which is known to everyone. So here, an example of brand with a high brand equity will be the Apple. So although Apple's products are very similar in terms of the feature of the other brand, the demand is very similar, the customer loyalty is different. And on top of that, company charge premium prices to their customer. Okay, because it is highest in the consumer tech industry. So Apple ranks consistently as one of the most valuable brands in the world. Apple's brand equity is valued at upwards of $250 billion in recent years, and that is not a small amount. So Apple's brand equity is very high among when we talk about the smartphone brands. So that's it for the brand equity. Now we are going to move to the another model which is Keller customer based brand equity model. So as you can see from the figure, so the Keller is he is Kevin Lane Keller. He was a marketing professor at Tuck School of Business, which is in Dartmouth College. He developed this brand equity model. It is widely used in the strategic brand management, which is our next topic of discussion. So it is very simple to understand. He said that to build a strong brand equity, you must shape your consumer perception towards the brand. And for shaping those consumer perception, he has made this model. So as you can see, there are four steps for this model. The step number one we have is brand identity. Second we have is brand meaning. Third we have is brand response, and the fourth is resonance. So we will discuss this one by one. So as he said that to build a strong brand equity, you must shape your consumer perception about your brand. So the right type of experiences will be must be built around the brand to generate the positive perception about the brand, positive feelings about the brand. So here we are creating some beliefs, we are creating some feelings, opinions, and the perception about a particular brand with the use of this model. With the use of this four step, we are going to create a customer-based brand equity. In the step number one, we have brand identity. So in step number one, as the name suggests, uh, in brand identity, we are going to create a brand that will stand out with lots of brands. So a brand that will a customer will recognize, a brand which are aware, the customer are aware of. It is very important to ensure that the brand's perception by the consumer, it aligns with how you want your brand to be perceived, right? So that we are taking care in the first step, that is brand identity. Now next step we have is brand meaning. So here, as in brand meaning, you can see there are 2 points written, which is this performance and the imagery. So here, performance involves to how well the product or the services meet the customer's needs. So there will be 5 categories, like what are the primary characteristics and the feature of the product. Then second will be what will be the product reliability, durability, serviceability. The third will be we will be having services and effectiveness or the efficiency or the empathy towards the brand. Fourth will be the style of the product or the design of the product. And the last, performance, the last category which where we can measure our performance will be very important, that is the price. So as I will repeat all category once again. There are 5 categories wherein we have to see how we are meeting the ends of the customers. The first one we have is primary characteristics and the features. Second we have is product reliability, durability, and the serviceability. Next we have is service efficiency, service effectiveness, and the empathy towards the product. Fourth one will be the design of the product, style of the product, and the fifth one, which is most important, that is the price. The second component which we are taking care in the second step, brand meaning, that is imagery. So when we talk about the imagery, it is uh, imagery is basically, it refers to the ability of your brand to meet the customer's needs on a psychological and a social level. For example, suppose companies that are committed to going green initiative, which is very famous nowadays. So what they are doing is they are building loyalty from the customer who identify with and support the company's values. So suppose somebody is relating to the values called going green, so he is going to purchase that brand, and that is what imagery is. So it is basically, it is the ability of your brand to meet the customer needs on the psychological level as well. When the company's brand imagery, it is its commitment to the various causes like social causes or the environmental causes. So that is in the imagery. Okay. Next, the third step we have is brand responses. Here again, you can see there are 2 things which I have written, but there are more things in it. Brand response. So here we are talking about the judgments of the customer, what he perceived about your product. So judgment will be depending on various factors like quality, what is the quality of your product, then what is the credibility of your product, what they consider about your product, and what are the factors which feel that this particular brand is superior over the other brand. That is also there in the third step, brand response. So here we are talking about the judgment and feelings which we can uh, categorize into 4 different keys, where we can think about the product, we can make a judgment about the product, we can decide over our positive or the negative feelings about the product. Those 4 characteristics are, as I said, there is quality, then we have credibility, then we have consideration, and lastly we have superiority, where we are going to think that how your particular brand is superior over the other brand. Now next, and which is the last step of this model, is the fourth, that is resonance. So when we talk about the resonance, here we are talking about building a deep customer relationship. So this step is most difficult to attain because, as we all know, the customer do have various choices, they do have multiple choices, and if they feel that we do have a deep customer relationship about this particular brand. Taking an example, suppose that's a very normal example, like we go and purchase our jewelry normally from those store wherein our mother uh, in where our mother is purchasing the gold, right? Or our generations are purchasing the gold from that particular shop, and that is why we go and purchase our gold from that shops, right? So that is because our generation are very used to they are used to go to those shops. So shopkeeper, owner, and our family do have a deep customer relationship. So when we talk about the resonance, brand resonance, here it takes a time, and that is why we said that it is most difficult to attain, right? So a customer should we should have form a deep connection with the customer, and customer should have form a deep connection with your brand, and that is where this step will help you to get through the repeat purchases. You have to get through the attachment of your brand and the product. You have to engage customer as your brand ambassadors. You have to tell them to attend your events. You have to tell them to follow your brand on the various social media nowadays. So the brand resonance is the connection that customer is having with your brand, and which is very difficult to attain. Now, when we see this four step, if I want to sum up, if I want to sum up these four step in one sentence, that will be, in brand identity. In the first step, brand identity, you have to talk about who are you, like who are you as a brand. Then, when we talk move further with the brand meaning, here we are going to talk about what are you. So next step will be the brand response, wherein you have to get the answers of what is all about you. Upkeep, what is all about you. So what will be the different things which are there in your brand. And last is resonance. Here we are talking about what about you and the me, right? So here, what about the brand and the customer. So in resonance stage, we are thinking about the customer. Now we will understand this entire brand equity, customer based brand equity model with a simple example. So suppose there is one person called Sridhar. So he's a marketing manager for a company which sells a coconut water, right? So although the product is of high quality, it is very healthy for the customer, the company has never been able to generate the significant sales or acquire the loyal customer. And why so? Because you know that, right? Coconut water we can get um, at any point of time. We can get the coconut water with the near in with nearby places to us. We can order that fresh coconut water. We can get that fresh coconut water, that too in reasonable price, right? And that is right. So what Sridhar does is, he decided to consult the Kailers. He decided to try the Kailers customer based brand equity model. So what happened is, in first step, that is brand identity, he identifies the company's target customers. So he identified that target customer, wherein he get that there are some individual who want a thirst quenching drink that is not only taste good but also it is healthy. So he develops a brand identity by positioning the brand as a healthy as well as the delicious drink. So he made this thing to a basis of a marketing campaign. wherein he is constantly talking about that how his drink is healthy as well as the delicious. He created the slogan for the company that a delicious drink that is healthy for your mind and the soul. So that was done in first step, that is brand identity. Now in the second step, which is brand meaning, so he identifies what the brand is means to its customer or the consumer. So Sridhar concludes that the performance of the coconut water is very high. It is fair trade coconut water. His coconut water is higher in quality from the competitors. Also, the product is significantly healthier than its competitor, and its price is very competitive uh, with comparison to the other market players. So the product brand imagery is very low because the brand does not meet the customer's social needs, and the awareness of the fair trade is not apparent. So Sridhar decided to utilize his social media and post fair trade stories about the workers who helped them harvest and make the coconut water. He created this content and he posted this content on his social media. So by doing so, Sridhar hopes that the customer will realize the impact they are making on the life of the workers who are working in harvesting the companies in the company's farm, and they are creating those coconut water thing. So that he have find out in the second number stage, that is brand meaning. Now the third step we have is brand response. So Sridhar examines the brand response judgments and he concluded that the perceived quality of the brand is not up to the mark. So what he is claiming for is not actually getting to the customer. So although coconut water itself is of high quality, the but he find out that his product is purely packaged and it lacks the innovation. So therefore, Sridhar decided to consult with the research and development department to develop an innovative package to improve its product's perceived quality. Now moving further to the last step, which is brand resonance. So to build the brand resonance, what Sridhar does is he pushes the brand imagery of the fair trade. He decided to create the several initiatives with the help of the social networks to involve with the customers in the company's fair trade efforts. Among other things, he decided to host several fair trade events and uh, around its community, and it will create a social media page dedicated to discussing issues regarding the fair trade. So that he has done in the brand resonance. Now, what do you think? What will be the result of the efforts which have Sridhar has taken? Okay, think about that output. Think about the resulting value of this of Sridhar's efforts, and do let me know. Until next lecture, please stay tuned and subscribe to the channel of GS College of Commerce e-learning Varda. Thank you.